Hey everyone! As promised, I am here with a video to explain how I list my products on Etsy. I will be using this necklace as an example. This video is going to be done in the style of a presentation. I've done a lot of screenshots and I've put them all together, and I will then explain each one bit by bit and how I do it and how it gets processed. I absolutely will not be offended if you want to turn off now, because it could be a bit boring for some, but others might be interested in how the process works. I'm filming this from my bedroom because this is where I sit and I do my Etsy listings. I have done a previous video with regards to how I do my photography. I will try and work out somewhere where I can link that for you to go and have a look at that first if you're interested, and then come back here and finish watching this one. Without the photography, I can't do the listings. The photos are one of the most important parts. So that all being said, let's get on and start the slideshow. When I go to Etsy, the first page I come to is this, to add a new listing. And as you can see, it's a long page with lots of details in that I have to scroll down through and add all the details to make the listing complete. And then at the bottom, I've got a publish button. This photo shows the first part of the listing, which is where I get to add my photos. And as you can see, there's a blue box there that says add a photo. I click on that and it takes me into my computer where I can choose my 5 photos. Once I've picked the 5 photos that I want to display on Etsy, I OK it and Etsy puts it into the 5 thumbnail spots as demonstrated here in this picture. I am able at this point to shuffle them around and move the order depending on how I want them to be seen and which one I want first. As you can see, the first one in the row says primary, and that is the one that shows up on any searches. I can then, underneath that primary, I can adjust that particular thumbnail so that I've got it in its best position possible. Once I'm happy with the way the photos look, I move further down the page to this section, which is the listing details. And in here, I get to title the product and add a few other details that are important for people to know. As you can see, this section is now filled out in this picture. And you can see I've added the title words, quilled resin necklace, quilled jewellery, paper quilling jewellery, and then it goes on. I actually have 140 characters to use up in that title, and it's not just as simple as picking words that I think might work. I actually have to research those phrases and those words to see if they're popular enough that my product will be found when people search in Etsy and also on Google, because I have to research those words and phrases through Google, because people don't necessarily go straight to Etsy, they go to Google and put those words in. So I need to check these words and research them all over the place before I finalise putting them here in the title. Underneath the title, it's simple stuff about the listing, when I made it, what the product is, what category I want it to be under. For this particular pendant, it's jewellery, it's a necklace, and it's a pendant. The price, how many of them I have available. And then as we go down further, these are the options I choose to keep them on. Renewal options, it's manual, because I only have the one. I don't want it to automatically relist because I wouldn't have another one to sell. And then the type of the product. Mine's a physical product. Other people do sell digital items, but I don't do that. So that is how I fill out this section. After filling out the listing details, I then move on to this section of the whole process, and this is the description section. This section is really quite important because I can put a lot of information in here about the product. It's not just as simple as saying quilled resin pendant. I need to sell my product. I need to make people want it from this description if they haven't already decided they wanted it from the pictures. So I will show you how this looks once it's filled out. And it looks something like this. Lots of detail. I'm creating a story, I'm creating a want for the product, I'm giving them information about the product, how I've made the product, what's involved in it, and then the very fine details of the product, like its size, what it comes with, what you're getting, and then a little bit at the bottom about I make it easier for people to then go back to my homepage to find other items if this one isn't as suitable as they thought it was going to be. Just underneath the description box, there's a little tick box where I can make it possible for customers to request a custom order. For this scenario, with these resin pendants, I haven't done that yet. And then there's a little section which is the sections on the left-hand side of the main page, and I've chosen to put this pendant under the jewellery section, so I have to state that here. Once I'm happy with the description, I then move further down the page. I've got a small section here that says variations and my shipping section, and I'll show you how that all looks once it's filled out. With the variations section, that is only relevant if I had, say, two of exactly the same thing, but one was in pink, one was in red. But because I don't, and every one of these necklaces is unique, I don't have to worry about that section for this. The bit I do have to concern myself with is the shipping. And the shipping, once it's filled out, obviously I choose to go from the United Kingdom. It's a pre-made piece, so I'm able to dispatch it usually within 1 to 2 business days. And then the shipping costs. With the shipping costs, I have myself a leaflet from the local post office which shows me what sizes and weights a package will cost me to ship. And then I input it into these spaces, and that's whether it's with the United Kingdom or anywhere else. And then I also get to choose whether it's an extra cost or not if they're buying some other item from somewhere else within my shop. I am kind enough to not charge anything extra if it is a second item. The last section of the listing are the search terms, and this is very important because this is, again, how people find the product. So I'll show you how that looks when it's completed. And once filled out, it looks something like this. So I have 13 tags that I can add. As you can see, I haven't used them all in this case. The tags that I have used generally come from the title, and I've split them down into their separate parts. These are just as important as the title because this is what helps the product get found. So these tags are researched just as much as the title labels because this is what people find me through Etsy and Google. So I have to make it visible. I have to make it so that people can find the product. The next section is the materials. Pretty simple, just any of the materials that I've used within the product, just so that people are totally clear on what is used. I've then got a little box there that is for an occasion. I don't tend to limit myself to the occasion because you never know why someone might buy a product. Maybe later on I could change that to Valentine's Day, seeing as it is a heart, but I'm leaving it empty at the moment. And the same with the style. I don't want to limit myself. I want it out there in a broader spectrum. When I'm happy that this section is then complete, I just scroll a little further down as shown here, and there's a little blue publish button. I press that and it makes the listing go live. Once the listing has gone live, this is how you see it on the page. So you've got the pictures, the title, you've got all of the item details. I've got 2 other tags there, one that shows the reviews for previous products and one that gives you all the shipping details. As you scroll down, you get to see the rest of the description, some other suggested products, and my lovely face at the bottom there. If you stuck around for all of that, well done. Thank you very much. I hope it was informative, I hope it was interesting, something a bit different from my usual videos. I will be back again soon with some more interesting things to show you.